Real quick, we're in a place. This area is called Birkama, and it's just kind of like not too far from the airport, as you saw, probably about 10-15 minutes from the airport. But now we're in the real province of the Gambia, and we're going to go a bit further out. Here, this building here is the Director of Education for Region 2, Mr. Suare. So he's just receiving his governor right now, so he's going to take us out and we're going to go to the schools. We're going to go to 2 schools. The first school we're going to go to is a disabled school. The kids are blind and dumb. And then we're going to go to another school which is, the building is half completed. And then from there we're going to go into a community, and the community are expecting us and they're going to welcome us. And there's a nursery school there, but they want to expand the school now. What's very nice about this community is some communities don't have schools, so people have to walk nearly 5 to 10 kilometers to go to school. So the community decided that they're going to build a school, and they had some funding from, I think it was a Swedish couple actually was the one who helped them out, and now they've done it, supported it for 3 years, and they handed it back to the government, but obviously the government can't fund it, so the school is half finished. So it'd be nice just to go and just check and work with the community, and when we leave and go back, and we'll say, all right, what are we going to do to collectively now to support these communities? One of my biggest dreams or biggest visions is to help build more schools. Yes, build more schools. And we talk about the logistics around that. But how nice would it be every year, or every year we're helping 5 schools build 5 new schools in places like this where they don't have schools, where 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds are walking 10-5 kilometers to go to school, back and forth. Bare feet, no shoes, all sorts of stuff. So, but you'll see for yourself anyway. But they're still happy. Yeah. They still got a big smile. They're happy to go to school and excited. So, so that's it. Suare, yes. First of all, thank you so much. Yeah. I know when I came down here a couple of days ago, I was just touched by the whole story about this school. And I met the gentleman over there, and I just want you to share with us really what is it that we're doing here, a bit about this school, and I know we'll meet the headmaster himself.
Yes, certainly. Actually, as I told you last time, the way we operate, I am the regional director for education for West Coast region, looking at about 216 schools. Right? 216, almost, including all categories of schools. But then I also have officers that are given assignment for different responsibilities. All right, we have this is a special needs school, okay, it's hard of hearing. And then I have my officer here who is one of my officers who goes around to check the schools, monitor them, and then advise me, and tell me what next we can do. And his name is Mr. Kujabi, all right? Mr. Kujabi is a special needs officer, all right? Mr. Kujabi, we have our guests that are here today, and as I said, they want to have a brief, history about this school. Right? Can you highlight?
Yeah, thank you very much, my director. This school is a school of hard of hearing. That is a school for the deaf. Okay, they started somewhere in Birkama, right down there, and they were looking for support until one philanthropist was able to build up this school for them. Okay, we go around to monitor to see, because in our school system we have right now what we call inclusive education, where we enroll all categories of children with special needs, like children with hard of hearing, that's deaf, children with visual impaired, children with physical disability, and then children with learning difficulties in our school system. In our regular schools, we call them, some would say mainstream school, but we say regular school. Okay, but for this one, it's a special school. It's a school where you enroll only children with hearing problem. That's the hard of hearing, that's deaf. Okay, so, they've been struggling for a long time. We do come here to see what they are doing, okay, and give advice, okay, and give advice. So right now, they have a nursery school, and then they have, they want to operate a lower basic school, okay, but they're having problems. The school has a lot of problems. That's why the enrollment now is, it's going down. It's going down.
Yeah, one of the problems is, young ones, if you bring young ones, they need to be motivated. Actually, they need to be helped, in order to keep them, particularly the young ones. And one of the key things that you can use to keep them, to boost the enrollment, is give them food. when they are sure that if they are here, they will have a delicious food, right? Slightly different from what they get home. They tend to be very interested to come to school, right? But then the sponsors, we are giving them food, and that's the kitchen over there. They were cooking food during break time for them. They have employed cooks. They give them ration, rice, oil, and fish money, for them to cook for them during break. And that was why the enrollment was coming up. Parents were interested to send them here from all the other catchment areas. But now that the project has phased out, those who are sponsoring this school, they have now phased out, right? Because the people who were, after this project, one of them, had a serious, accident and could not come back here now, right? They phased out and they have a problem of having continuation with the food. Eventually, the enrollment.
And I understand that person was from it's a Dutch.
It's a Dutch, yeah.
Dutch,
it's a Dutch.
How bizarre! It was from the Netherlands.
It's a Dutch from Netherlands. They built this.
They built this.
Yeah, they built this for the children. Yeah. Right.
And the kitchen over there too. The government and the support in terms of the food. You have a kitchen over there, but you can't use it.
I can recall. I mean, I can recall last time. That's the cluster monitor. He's also a cluster monitor. This man is responsible for the cluster schools within here, right? And then this man is a monitor just for the special needs. But this one is the monitor for all the other public schools. It's inspectors. We call them inspectors, but we don't want to use that word.
Yeah.
All right. So this is it. Last time I remember, I came here for a visit, and I said, "What is your?" I just said, "Tell me, what's your concern? What do you want today?" They said they want rice. The students. They said they want rice. I said, yes. What happened? They said they have not been eating for some time now. Their ration has finished. I said, okay, I will sacrifice from my salary and I give you rice for this month. Yeah, I took out some money from my salary, bought some rice, and they used that for almost 2 months. They were eating. But that's how we
for those who don't know, rice is a traditional meal here. Yeah. So giving a bag of rice, it's a big thing.
It's a big thing.
Big thing over here.
It's a big thing.
And at the end of every single month, I send money to Esa to say, go buy my parents a bag of rice. It's really traditional here, and Oma too will tell you. Yeah. So, Mr. Suarez, I see the kids over there are standing over there. They're eager to see us. So
another problem.
Yeah.
That is also coming from surrounding. So now there is no transportation available for them. Yeah. So the parents, they feel that it's risky to allow them, once they cannot hear, to allow them to go to school alone. Yeah. And some of them to have escort to bring them to school every day, to and fro, is a problem because parents are also in.
Yeah, and I also understand.
So that is why some of them are not coming. So transportation is always a problem for them. If there is transport allocated for the school, where the transport will be collecting the students from their different locations, then that will boost the enrollment. Yeah, that's another
agreement with them and the government was that this is going to be a nursery school. Yeah. And then when they finish the nursery, 3 years in the nursery 1, nursery 2, nursery 3, when they finish, they go to Kanifing for the lower basic school. But we are finding it very challenging because it's a risk.
Kanifing is very far.
Very far. You cannot allow them to go to Kanifing. Some parents cannot afford the fares, and it's dangerous to ask the children to join the bus taxis or the taxis to travel to Kanifing. So as a result, I was trying to discuss with the permanent secretary, my executive boss, to see that whether we can upgrade this school as a lower basic school. So it will continue from ECD to lower basic. That means they can stay another 6 years. They will be better grown up, and they will maybe they will be able to access education a little bit distant from here. And that's okay. The green light is given for us to upgrade the school. But as I said,
that's why we have LBS.
That's why we have the LBS. Right. Okay.
So we're eager to see the kids.
Let's see the kids. Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Good afternoon. Saying good afternoon.
Yeah, saying good afternoon.
We have welcoming you people to the school here, saying good afternoon and welcome. With a flower.
That's good. That's good. All right.
It's head girl.
This is Karamo Sanyang. Am I right?
Sanyang, yes.
Karamo Sanyang, the head teacher. Karamo, here are your guests. All right. They are here to visit your school. All right. And this is Karamo's wife.
Exactly.
And at the same time, the interpreter. The one who interprets is the wife. All right?
It's been constructed by Marika and Kes. Before we have food program, but now stop.
Now stop.
Especially during time 11, 12.
Now you see, these children for a long time they have not been cooking. In fact, what they have food here is sand. So they have not been cooking for so long now, right?
And we also make cake here as cake materials inside. Inside the cupboard. Open it. Cake. We make cake materials. We have a gas cooker here. We used to make cake for the children. Sometimes we sell to have no income. To pay certain needs of the children in the school here. Or the school need like electric when there is no cash power, especially today. Since last week we have no cash power, no bucket. The bucket we planned for last year is finished this year, no bucket for light and water. So since last week there is no light here, water. I never want to cut last week. I begged them, appeal them to accept us. We are finding money. If possible we have, we can pay them. So if there is no food, no water, no light, there is no school here.
How much rice does it take each month?
How much rice does it take each month?
Rice.
Rice, man.
Yes.
1 month takes you 1 month.
Well, rice, every month we use 1.5 bag.
1.5 bags.
Because we cook 4 days a week.
Yeah.
Monday to Thursday, Friday, no cook 4 days. Because Friday is half day. Before cooking, we finish time we close school.
So
4 days a week.
So can I ask, we take the question so everybody can hear outside?
Yeah, let's
So
go outside. Yeah, let's go outside. Yeah.
Because we have one at Carnifing for the same problem, transportation. Because some of them live outside Brikam, from Sanya and Jambanjeli and surrounding villages. They come here to learn skill in knitting, or more making, tailoring, and also cake baking, and the way of cooking, how to cook best food and good hygiene food. We train them on this. After they finish, some are lucky to have employment other places, or they are self-employed. And also we train them on this salon, hairdressing salon. And we propose to train them on computer and other things, but no materials for computer training. So that's why we suspend that for the meantime until we are able to have support in that area. So for the skills center also, this year, since the project last year December is finished, we have no skilled teacher. All is stopped. So they try to work on their own, what they learn. They try to apply it now in school here to make these things.
So part of the challenges is also to, with the lack of funds, you're not able to attract the teachers because you can't pay the teachers. And for those of you who didn't hear whilst we were in the kitchen, one thing the gentleman shared was electricity is a problem. He had to go to the electricity company here to beg them to say not to cut the electricity. Also the same with the water. And just think about that for a second. It's all the basic needs: food, electricity, water. And they have challenges to meet that on a day-to-day basis to support these kids, and it's just basic needs. And so, yeah. Sorry, please continue.
Teachers, the nursery teachers, we have primary teacher, one teacher, and nursery teacher, and myself. And next year we are planning to increase the number of staff, because next year we are planning to have grade 2 for primary school. So we need to add 1 teacher for primary 2, grade 2 classes, and possibly nursery school also. We need to add 1 teacher, because right now we have 1 nursery classes, but the number of people we registered is more, but they never come, because as Kujab and Draco said, transport program. If possible, we have our own bus that's easy, can go around morning this direction and come back this week.
How far are most of your kids traveling from? How far are they traveling to get here now? What's the furthest? What's the furthest?
Well, it's just from here to Sanya.
Sanya, okay.
Sanya cross to Gundur, then come back.
Okay.
And some from Jiboro.
Wow.
Some from Jiboro, they come here to land here after they go back.
So after Carnifing, which is Carnifing, if you don't know, it's close to our hotel where we're staying. That's the only one in the Gambia that closed in the region. The second one is this one in the whole of the Gambia.
Yeah, I think one can ask, why is the government or what is the ministry doing about it? But what I want to explain here is, it started as a private right? Started as a private, they were having sponsors, right? And that was why we try to encourage them to integrate them in the mainstream. But we also have seen that if we integrate them in the mainstream, we may not have the right teachers in the mainstream that can take care of them for now, right? That's why for now we still want to maintain them here, and then look for support to continue until when we can get trained teachers within the mainstream, so that they can also be transferred to the mainstream. All right, well, that's all about it. Otherwise, if it is a school that has to be supported by government would have supported them. But then government is saying, yes, we can support them, we continue to support, but they have to go to the lower basic school, to the mainstream. Yeah. And then be part of the mainstream so that we get the support. Yeah. Right, but then if they get there, you have 2 or 3 in a bigger class, where those children that are there are not affected. You have to have a teacher who would be really trying to get in, support the child. That's our problem now. But then that's why we feel we maintain them, all right, and then see how best we can look for support, for them to continue here until when they get to grade 3. Yep. Right.
So nice stuff, and at least I'm guessing those 3 over there are students. Are they students?
Yeah, students.
Very nice. Yes.
What happened here is you have some of them who go up to, like we have the difficulties, some of them started going to KMC, where you have upper grades there. But some of them could not continue because of transport cost. As a result, Karamo was able to open this class, the skill center class, for them to continue their skill center. They had a teacher who was teaching them. But because the teacher is not receiving salary now, the project has closed. The teacher also decided to stay away. Right, so that's his reason. But still now, there were 8 students, but today it's only 3 of them are here.
So Karamo, if there was one way we could help you, you said, if you could just help us with this one thing, what would that be? Because I've got my dear friends here with big hearts, and not only that, but big influences from where they come from too. So if there's something that we can help you with, or something we can go back and find a way of supporting you guys, what would that be?
Our major need is financial. If you have finance, you can do all these other activities we are talking about. But without financial, you cannot do anything. That is teacher's salary, number 1. Teacher's salary, but people cannot work without salary. Because each of us have a family to take care. We leave our homes to come here to work. At the end of the month, we think to receive something for our family back. But if there is nothing, today I'm sick, tomorrow I'm busy, they will never come to school. That will make the school to fail. And again, food. Because children, they are used to the food. So now, even time 11 o'clock, they start looking at the chicken like this. Signing, there's no food today. Why? There's no food today. So after 12 to 1, they never concentrate in class. So they say, I'm hungry. This half bread is nothing. Some come to school with empty hand. If even dollars, they don't come with it. They depend on this school feeding. So when that is stopped, it will also reduce the enrollment of the school. And transportation. Because parents feel deaf and hard of hearing child. It's nothing, cannot do nothing. How can this boy learn? Because many times some parents come here, when I'm teaching them, they go and stand at the window. Feel surprised how they learn. So they feel they're paying their money on their deaf child. It's a waste to them. Because I myself have done many home visits in the region here. Every year, I do home visit 3 times a year before, when we have fun. But this year, still January, I cannot go because there is no fund for fuel and hiring a taxi, no money. And participants, they have food. We have to pay them. So when I visit home, sometimes this man told me this compound have a deaf. I entered there, asked for, I said, no deaf here. That's no deaf here. Me born deaf. Me. This one, go, is there. Until I make it a force. Until they bring out the deaf child.
So it's clear really, you need the financial resources to take care of basically the basic needs. So anything that could be financially done to support you guys, really, you'll appreciate, really, basically. Okay.
I'm curious about something. Do you have any idea what a monthly budget would be? You know, for the necessary food, for the water, for the electricity, for transportation. How much each month do you need so that we have a target, we have a goal, so that we know how to best help you?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you can give us some insight around that, we can have something to focus on and know what collectively we might be able to do and how close we might be able to come to supporting that.
That makes sense.
And that's something we can get to Samir later on, and we'll.
Yeah.
So.
And I think it would be very helpful for you to plan going forward in what kind of support you need to gather every month.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, that's good.